First I want to give you a general presentation of what Might Magic is for Ubisoft, and especially the setting, the world of Might Magic, which is called Ashan. That is the common link between all those Might Magic games. And you need to have some basics in mind when we talk about those games in terms of story, setting, etc. So that's the first thing I'll do. But before, Might Magic was not born yesterday, as you may know. This is a 26-year-old brand. Last year we celebrated the 25th anniversary of Might Magic, and we did a special movie for that. We have three main forces, not good and evil, but really three different forces, mutually, morally balanced. And their interplay is the source of all the conflicts and all the stories we are able to tell in this world of Might Magic. The first one is order, the second one is chaos, so two classic forces. We have a third force called the void that we will describe a little bit in this presentation, and that will be the main setting of some of the games we will present to you today. Originally there was the void. The void was nothing, everything. The void was everywhere, nowhere. And at the heart of the void, if the void has a heart, was crystallized the powers of magic into a single shape, the cosmic egg. So you all are familiar with the chicken and egg tale or fable. In our world, the egg came first. And it's not a chicken that was hatched from this egg, but it was dragons. Originally, so this let's say crystallized magic imploded because the power was too strong, so it was our Big Bang. And from this egg hatched two dragons, two dragon gods that really symbolize the two primordial powers of order first with Ashan and chaos with Erwan. So those are what we call the primordial twins, and they are really the dragon gods of our universe. Asha, being the dragon of order, she decided that she would shape magic, so the fragments of the cosmic egg, into something with a purpose and a form and a meaning. So she created the world, the universe, the galaxies, and specifically a little planet that was really her favorite planet, her favorite place in the universe, Ashan, a planet that took her name. Ashan comes from Asha, obviously. For that she needed tools. The tools that she wanted were, of course, magical tools, so these are the elements. We have the four classic elements of air, earth, fire, and water, but we also have in our universe light and darkness that are considered to be elements. For each element, Asha had a dragon child, another kind of dragon god that we call the elemental dragons. The first one was Malasa, the dragon of darkness, and darkness filled the void. So it was the first act of creation. Suddenly the void became something, darkness. To operate on Ashan, because it's just a planet in the universe, the dragons being personification of the elemental primordial forces, they're too powerful to, with the big claws, do something on the wall. So they had a race of mortal servants who were able to work and travel and prosper on Ashan. The servants of Malasa are the Faceless, a race that was introduced in Hero 6. For those who have played the game, they play an important part in the story of Hero 6. Second dragon to come, the dragon of light, Erwan. So imagine the darkness of the void, not the void anymore, but just space, dark space. And suddenly you have countless stars that start to brighten up, the most important being the sun. And the dragon god Elrath will have the angels as his servants. So angels, you're already familiar with them. They've been in Might Magic stories for years now. You have the Michael figurine over there. You have him on the actual Hero 6. So angels, very iconic and emblematic creatures of our world. Third dragon to be created, Arcath, dragon god of fire. Around the stars, little spheres of flame, orbs of flame will gravitate, the basis for planets. So it's Arcath who did that. And on Ashan, his people will be the dwarves, working within volcanoes, forging metal with their bare hands, because they don't feel the flames or the heat, and really being strongly attuned to fire. Then those spheres of flame would be surrounded by a crust of earth to cool them down and to allow life to prosper. Earth meaning rock, sand, mud, soil, but also trees, nature basically. Vegetations, etc. So the elves would be the servants of Silana, dragon of earth, and the watchers, the wardens of nature. Then come water. For nature to prosper, it needs water. So rivers, lakes, streams, the sea, the rain, all these elements, even the eyes, are represented by Shalasa, and her chosen people on Ashan are the Nagas, the race that was also classic in the Might Magic series, but really introduced on Ashan in Hero 6 with their strong Far Eastern flavor. Last element, and last dragon god, Ilath, the dragon god of air. So the atmosphere, the winds that cover this whole planet, and that really breathe life into Asha's creation. And the servants of Ilath are the humans, who like him are short-lived, like the winds, but go everywhere, cover the surface of the planet, are curious, explore every nook and cranny, and try to unveil the secrets of Ashan. So Asha created Ashan and the universe as a whole, the elemental dragon serpent, but suddenly Urgash comes back from his errands. He was wandering into space, and he was recreating galaxies everywhere. He stumbles upon Ashan and he says, oh, this is too orderly, this is a fixed form, magic is infinite potential and should remain shapeless, and be recreated anew every morning. This is not what Asha has done, so I don't like it. I will destroy it and recreate it, because that's the purpose of magic. And for that he created the demons, a race that, like him, have no fixed shape or purpose, and are here to fight at every step the dragon gods, the elemental gods, and especially the servant race, what we call the elder races. So the demons fight against the elder races, the elemental dragons fight against Urgash and Chaos. This is the wars of creation. Ashan is almost destroyed because we imagine that the dragons at that time would manifest on the world, but they were sheer elemental powers, so there really were forces in nature that could destroy a whole world. And something interesting happened during those wars. The dragons wounded themselves and their blood fell on the surface of Ashan. It created dragon veins, and when networks of veins converged together, it created dragon nexuses, place of high magical power, sacred places to the people of Ashan. Over the course of the centuries, the dragon blood would be fossilized, crystallized into what we call the dragon blood crystals, the most precious substance of Ashan. And those crystals are attuned to the various dragons. So you may find dragon blood crystals of fire, of water, of air, of order, of chaos, etc. This will be important in one of the games we will present today. Then there came a seventh dragon. We already have the 6 elemental dragons, 2 primordial dragons. We call him or her the 7th dragon because he's akin to the elemental dragons. It's a human named Saralam. We don't know if it's a he or a she, a man or a woman. So let's call him him for now. Saralam meditated for years under a tree in a secluded place, and then traveled into the spirit world to meet with the dragons one after the other, ending with Ashan. And when he came back on Ashan, he said to the people of Ashan, especially his disciples, I have understood one big secret of the universe. The dragons should not be gods, should not be worshipped as gods. They're just enlightened spiritual beings, the most powerful beings in the universe. But the blood of the dragons flows in our veins because we are the children, and we can one day become dragons ourselves. And let me show you. And what he did, he transformed into a dragon never seen before, a dragon of pure magic, of mana. And he showed to his followers that they could follow his path. So obviously they try hard to understand his secrets, his methods, how he became enlightened. But he had not enough time to teach that to his followers, because what happened was that the demons came back. There was another war with the demons. And this time, Saralam had to sacrifice himself, his immortal soul, to create a spiritual prison in which the demons would be locked forever. We call this prison Shi'ak. It's at the heart of Ashan, of the planet, but it's a spiritual world, and the prison really confined the demons inside. So they were supposed to be locked for eternity, but 3 centuries after Saralam's sacrifice, something happened, what we call a blood moon eclipse. So it was a lunar eclipse, the moon was eclipsed and became red, blood red. And the demon prison was weakened. The demons could be unleashed on Ashan once again, and of course the people of Ashan were not expecting this. So they were almost destroyed again by another demon invasion. From that moment on, Ashan's timeline and calendar will be numbered by these eclipses, and also by what we call the year of the 7th dragon. So year 0 corresponds to the day when Saralam came back and showed himself as the 7th dragon. And then we have a chronology of Ashan that expands over the course of 1 century. So these are recorded times. Before that was the mythical age, the age of dragon gods and heroes of the past. what I'm saying to you today is only the tip of the iceberg. Of course, the history of Ashan is way deeper and richer than that. The good news is that for those of you who are really passionate about it, there will be a book released in September called The Ashan Companion that will tell the whole story of the universe. Of course, it's lavishly illustrated. It's a hardcover book, so it will be collectible among our community, and maybe some of you will receive it for free. Lucky you are. If you're interested, you can read it. But what is interesting is that it allows us to have several cycles to tell interesting stories in the world of might and magic. The first cycle that we told you was with the first games, the ones you were familiar with. It was the story of the Dark Messiah. The Dark Messiah being heralded by a prophecy, half demon, half human, supposed to free the demons from their prisons once and for all, to undo what Saruman had done centuries before. The story of the Dark Messiah is told in various games. Hints of the Dark Messiah story are in Clash of Heroes, so chronologically it's the first game in this cycle. Clash of Heroes happened just before what we call the 5th eclipse. So as I was telling you, these are the year of the 7th dragon. Then Heroes 5 really explains the creation, the origins of the Dark Messiah. Dark Messiah explores his revelation, so when he understands his true nature and fulfills his destiny. And Heroes Kingdoms explore a possible future in which the Dark Messiah indeed freed the demons. So all those games happen between the 5th and 7th eclipse, and as you can see, those eclipses are very close one to another. So it's really chaos becoming the dominant force in the universe, eclipses being more frequent, and the Dark Messiah coming to age and being able to fulfill prophecy. But now we're writing a new chapter in the world of might and magic. We call it the Void Cycle. So we introduce the powers of the Void. So it's not chaos anymore, let's say the main antagonist. It's the Void, one of the three forces I mentioned. Something that pre-existed before chaos and order. The Void is the negation of everything, so it wants to destroy order and chaos at the same time. And the first game to give you hints about this conflict is Hero 6. It was released in October last year. And that the events of Hero 6 are centered around the second eclipse, so 400 years before Heroes 5 and the Dark Messiah cycle. But other games will explore this era of the Void. And not only games, we will also have, let's say, ancillary products. This one is a comic book that will be released in French in September 2007 as well, hopefully in other languages. It tells the story of important characters from Hero 6 a bit before the game started. So the English title would be Blood Sisters. It tells the story of those two sisters. It's a tragic story, as you can expect from something related to Hero 6. And those are the first 2 pages, but of course it will be a full comic book, 46 pages in total, I think, and the first tome, which will